Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adenike Olakunle. For those who are seeing me for the first time, I'm also known as the Scent Nurse. As you may have seen from the title, I'm going to be sharing practical steps on how to prepare for a successful and winning interview. Before we proceed, I would like to let you know why you should pay attention to what I'm about to say. Number one, I have done over 10 interviews that I got the job offers. Both in Nigeria and in the UK, I have done online, I have done face-to-face, and I have gotten the job offers. I've done about 10 interviews that I got the job offers. Secondly, I have also helped people to prepare for their interviews and they got the job offers. So I think I'm qualified to share the steps that I took and how I prepared for the interview. So let's dive into today's topic. So you've got an invitation to attend an interview. Congratulations. So what should you do next? The first thing you are supposed to do is try to research about the organization. When you are researching, what are you looking for? Look for their values, look for their mission, look for the products if they are selling products, if they are selling services, what are the services that they are rendering? Look at how you can bring something to the table. Second thing is to ask yourself, what will you be contributing to the company or the organization you are joining? Because they are likely going to ask you this question, that how will your role enhance the productivity of the organization? If you are being offered, what are the skills that you are going to bring to the table? What are the skills that they will want you to demonstrate? Because you will need to mention those skills. When I was doing one of the interviews, they asked me, I was going for this role, client service role, and they asked me, what are the skills that I have that qualifies me for the role I was applying for? I said, well, I'm a patient person. I have empathy. I show empathy to people. I put people in my shoe. It was like I hit them at the point that they wanted me to eat them. So, the moment I mentioned patience, I mentioned empathy. Everybody looked into each other's eye on the panel, and I knew that they were going to call me for the job. So you are supposed to eat those nails as you are talking during your interview. So if you don't plan it ahead, if you don't know the skills that they will ask you ahead, you are going to go there and be, blabbering and, stammering. So think about it. What are the skills that they would want you to demonstrate if they are going to offer you the role? Number 3, articulate how you performed on your last job and the experiences that you got from your last job. Okay, so think about how you're going to tell them, oh, I gained this experience from my last job, and if I'm coming here, I'm going to be using that experience to move the organization forward. For example, I was interviewing for same customer service or client service role, and they were asking me what did I learn from my current or previous role. And I remember I was working at Union Bank as a clinic nurse, and I told them, that I had to deal with difficult people, people who think that they don't go to toilets, they don't step on sheets, pardon me. And for me to be able to deal with them without having any clash, I was never reported as being rude or being unfriendly. Almost everyone liked me, whether male or female. I made a lot of friends there. Fortunately for me, they knew the kind of people that I had dealt with in the past, and they know that for me to be able to handle them, it means that I can handle some other clients that will be difficult in the future. So I told them that experience and they saw that it would be useful for them. So think about it and let it be somewhere in your mind that you can just mention it when they ask you. And they're probably going to ask you, why are you leaving your job? So if you have not thought about it, give it a thought before you go for your interview, because you can't get there and be blabbering. Okay, so think about why you are leaving your current job. Another thing you need to think about is, how much do you want to be paid? Think about how much you want to be paid, because you can't get there and start thinking. You need to be sure of the price you have put on yourself, and you must be able to defend it. For example, you are just, because I'm a nurse, I'm going to be using a nurse as an example. So a new graduate from School of Nursing is going for an interview, and you get to the interview, they ask you, how much do you want to be paid? And then you say 250,000 naira. We all know that you are a joker, except you can defend it and tell us why you want to get 250,000 naira if you have confidence in yourself and you know why you want to. For example, when I was just an RN and I wanted to get a job of 150,000 in Lagos, Nigeria, they asked me, why would they pay me 150? I told them, if you go through my certificates, you will see that I'm not just an RN. I have done a life coaching course. I have done emotional intelligence course. I have done mental health first aid course. I have done this also. I told them how many courses I have done that has added to my certificate. And they asked me, if they offer me less, would I still take the job? I said no. And to think that I'll be coming from this distance to this place. Do you understand? So if I had not thought about it, if I had not given it a proper plan, I won't be able to defend what I want to say. Of course, when you are doing your interview for, maybe you want to get the job in the UK or in the US, there is a regulation already for healthcare salary. They have their fixed amounts that you're supposed to get. So those ones, they are regulated. They won't probably ask you, if you're interviewing for overseas job from Nigeria, they won't ask you how much you want to take, because they have their own standard. But in case you are in Nigeria and you want to get a job in Nigeria or in any other country, I don't know how it is, but you have to think about how much you want to take and the reason why you want to take it. You must be able to defend it, because that will let them know that you are confident about what you're saying. Okay, that is number what? Probably 4. So the next thing, you are planning for your appearance, how you are going to look for the interview. I advise that you dress for the post. If you are going to demand for a particular amount, or there is a way the certain people look, the position you are going to interview for, there is a certain way they look or dress, you should try to, dress a bit more sophisticated than that, because the way you are dressed is the way they will address you. For example, so guys, I'm going for an interview and this is my typical dress. I'm hoping that this will dry off before I get to my interview. So I'm wearing a jacket and I'm going to wear a brown shoe because I'm going to carry a brown bag. I'm going for a typical nursing job, hospital job interview. Yeah, so there's nothing stopping you from looking nice, even though you're going for a hospital job where you know that you're not going to dress corporate. Okay, so let's continue. When I was going for the post of a client service, I knew I would be going on I'll be going for meetings with MDs, with HR, with business owners. I knew I had to dress well. So when I was going, I simply wore a dress. A dress is the most simple way to dress because I don't know how to combine colors. So I just wore a dress and I wore a plain brown shoe, and I took the same bag that matched with the shoe. So there was no conflicting, there were no too many colors or conflicting colors. I wasn't a color blocking person. So, and I don't think you should be a color blocking person when you are going for an interview because it could be a distraction. Well, maybe depending on the role, if you have Googled and you have searched and you see that it is acceptable. I remember going for an interview in 2016. I was going to be doing like a clinic nurse. So like I said, I don't know how to combine so many things together. I wore a patterned shirt on a patterned skirt. After the interview, my content was dope. They liked me. They accepted me immediately. I could tell. So they told me, okay, they will get back to me. I stepped out and I was on my way out of the company and they called me back. So I went back to the interview room and one of the panels told me, so if we are going to employ you for this role, please, you will not be wearing patterned top on patterned skirt. I felt embarrassed. But at that point, I knew my content killed them. I knew I was right for the job. But they liked me, but they couldn't cope with, my kind of dress. And they had to let me know that I won't be able to dress just anyhow if I would be handling the job. So since then, I learned I can't wear pattern on pattern. So if you are going for interview, if you are going to wear a plain dress for girls or ladies, please just keep it simple, wear a plain dress. And if you are going to wear up and down, make sure that up is plain and down is patterned or colorful and all of that, but don't put too many colors mixing and confusing everybody with your dress. So that is about it. Also, make sure your hair is well groomed. You don't want to look tattered. If you have beard, men, groom your beards. Look peng. Look peng. Don't wear rubber band. Doesn't make you look good, really. Don't put rubber band. If you have a good wristwatch, put wristwatch on your wrists. Don't put bangles and, just look simple and classy. Of course, they will look at the appearance first, and then they will look at the content. So if your content is really good, they might tell you, oh, this will be your mode of dressing, if they are patient enough. If not, that's the end of the job. So for people who will be doing Skype interview, especially for nurses who would want to relocate to the UK, I did a Skype interview when I was back home. I remember one of the rules they gave me was to keep my background white. I kept it. I was always using a plain background for my interviews. I don't try to put my curtain or anything. I just use a plain background and I dress, that they can see my face and my top is clean because they won't ask me to stand up. I'll be sitting. So you'll be sitting as well. Just make sure that the top or the shirt you are wearing is well ironed, not too much color, plain color, like they can see you, that they can see your face apart from the dress. And of course, for Skype interview, make sure that the environment is calm. If you have to beg your neighbors, beg them and say, you know what, guys, please, minimize your noise. So for virtual interview, like I said I did when I was going to come, get good network. I remember I was using SpectraNet then, and it was really nice in my house. I don't know about any other place, but in my house then, SpectraNet was the only one that I could use. So I was using it, and I ensured that there was enough data, because obviously if you are going to do a Skype interview for 30 minutes, you will need enough data, and because you are going to do a video and it takes a lot of data. So get good network, get enough data. Don't be saying or padding, and even if you can't hear them, you can say come again, but at least get a good data. Another thing is to be online between 10 to 15 minutes before the interview will start, so that they can either call you or you call them. Either ways, if you agree, if both of you already agree on that. When you are doing your interview, look straight to the webcam. Don't look at the screen. The best way to maintain eye contact with them, because both of you are not in the same place, is to look at the webcam. They can even think you are cheating if you are looking down too much, because they can't see you. Another thing, whether online or physical, whether you are applying to be a cleaner or you are applying to be a manager, be courteous. This courtesy is highly important. If you are doing interview with a white, you are not likely to say ma or sir, but at least be courteous. When they give you compliment that, oh, you got it right, oh, that was nice, say thank you. Accept the compliment and say thank you. Be appreciative, be courteous, be respectful. Even if they attack your personality, make sure that you are assertive, but you are also responsible and respectful in your responses. I remember when I was interviewing for my last job in Nigeria, the HR asked me, why are you leaving your current job? I told them I've been on my last job for 3 years, and the Holy Spirit told me it was time to move. And then she asked me, how does the Holy Spirit speak to you? And then we started talking about it, and she said, no, you these small children of nowadays, you don't want to do something, you don't want. And then she started questioning the authenticity of my conviction, So I had to, be plainly saying, I know how Holy Spirit talked to me, and this is not the first time the Holy Spirit would tell me something, and I'm simply following that instruction. We could turn it, I was really calm, we could turn it upside down, we could start arguing, but I didn't allow any argument to ensue, because I knew that she can decide to give me the job and she can decide not to give me. So I'm at her mercy, but I still don't want her to make me feel like, no, I didn't hear the right thing. So at the end of the day, we became friends. I got the job, So I'll say that accept compliments, be respectful, be courteous, know what you're saying and be confident about it, and say thank you and smile when necessary. They can't be asking you question of that is serious, that will make them decide whether they're going to give you a job or not, and you are just smiling. So if you're smiling might work, and it may make them think that, is this person well? It might make them question if you are well or not. So know the timing to smile. Smile responsibly. Yeah, smile responsibly. For nurses who are looking to do an interview for overseas job, I would say that these are the questions that I was asked. At least I have done about 7 or 8 interviews for nursing roles in the UK, and I got the job offers for all of them because I did a lot of interview when I was preparing to come. When I got here, I started doing interview because I want to leave this environment and go to a more cheaper place. So I've done interviews physically, and I can tell you the questions that are common to all of them. Number one, you must know the NMC code of conduct, NMC code for nurses. You must know it at the back of your head, at the back of your mind. Let it circulate in your blood, digest it so that you can apply it when they ask you questions. No NMC code, no NMC code. That is number one. Number two, care of dementia patients. Even when you are not going to work in a dementia apartment, dementia ward, they will still ask you that question. Another thing is pressure ulcer, pressure area. They will ask you care of pressure area, prevention of pressure ulcer, reporting pressure ulcer, medication, drug calculation. They will ask you drug calculation. They will ask you medication error. How will you do it? How will you report it? How will you correct it if it happens to you? They are going to ask you, how will you delegate? What is your own responsibility when you are delegating as a nurse? Okay, they are going to ask you about delegation. They are going to ask you about conflict resolution between staff nurses and the healthcare assistants, or between two staff nurses. How will you do it? They are going to ask you series of management questions, accident reporting, fall prevention. Those are the ones that are very, very common. They are almost like they will ask you in anywhere you are going to apply for, or you are planning to get a job. So that's for nurses who are looking for international roles. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope I've been able to help you with something. And if you have done an interview, you have a better idea, you have an opinion of how it can be done, or how you prepared and you won, please drop your comments. And if you have someone who is preparing for an interview, please do them this favor, share with them. Also, subscribe to this channel, guys. Subscribe to this channel, and please like this video. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you some other time. Bye.